truth seekers on the radio, and he remains neutral, even though he's got he'll give his personal opinions at the beginning of the show, and then he'll bring on his guest, and he just plays devil's advocate. Can't remember his name or the name of his show.
3 minutes.
Yeah, he's a big supporter of David Icke.
I was watching Richard D. Hall talk about David Icke, and it just seems like he does have quite a lot of good information. I mean, I'm not a big fan of David Icke. I have watched a couple of bits, but not a massive fan. And they were eulogising about him like he was fantastic.
I think he has a part in our waking up.
Right, he's a very he has a generalized approach, and it is very good. And then he has his intricate reptilian stuff.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about.
That's kind of out there, but his baseline concepts are really good.
Our second attempt, we got another igniter in place. What do we do different this time? We changed out.
Put your TV on or something, Mark.
I've not got anything on.
Now, Riley is
Anthony.
It was me.
Pete Shea talking in your ear.
Pete Shea, no. Fucking, what's his face? Alan B. He's trying to claim that the vacuum tests are credible. And I'm like, don't be ridiculous. So he sent me a link of fucking James May going into the vacuum chamber. And I'm like, yeah, and what pressure did he go down to? 3? Didn't even go down to a decent pressure. So I'm just arguing with him. But I've stopped now, it's fine.
Fair enough. Minute and a half and we're starting. Hey, Travis.
What's up?
Guy.
Hello, Albine.
Oh, no.
What?
What?
I'm out of here. I am out of this place.
Talking about?
What?
I'm just giving Mark a bad time.
What's Mark done? What's he done? I'm
He
missing
does
something.
deserve one.
Am I missing something?
No, Travis imagines himself as an Englishman, but he's far from it. He's got an Irish he's got an Irish name, and he lives in the USA.
And you sound very clear today, Travis.
Travis, you're just a hillbilly. Come on.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Once a hillbilly, always a hillbilly.
No, Finlay is an Irish name.
We're gonna hear Travis today when he interjects. He go like, no, wait a minute, hear me out here, and we all gotta go. Oh shit, he got a good mic. Let's shut up, all you know.
Yeah, I'm on my tablet right now since I'm not driving.
Oh, you sound much clearer.
And you haven't got a shitload of background noise that cuts everybody out.
You've got a terrible mic, Anthony. Whatever was wrong last time, do you remember when you had to drop and resort it out?
Say that again.
Your mic is the webcam mic.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Kick Riley and don't let him back in.
Okay.
Let's not have any infighting. We haven't even started yet. Literally just about to hit the go live button.
I know, that's why it's such perfect timing. Okay. See you later, Riley.
Right, can I just...
I'm just
before
kidding,
I start, I don't want to come back to half the panel gone and a blazing row. Is that a possibility?
No, it's just 1/6.
Is that working?
I've never kicked anybody in my life. So
no, it's exactly the same, Anthony.
Just a bit of banter.
I'm going to start.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. Now we are joined by Travis, Sleeping Warrior, Mark, Jose and Arwin. Good to have you.
Hello, gentlemen.
Afternoon.
Tortuga Earth.
Who knows?
Right, housekeeping.
Your mic's sorted.
Turtle
That's
Earth.
Good. So yeah, any signs of curvature?
Nope.
Signs. The signs.
Say again?
I saw a curve on a hill once.
Any signs of Earth curvature, specifically of
No.
the 8 inches per mile variety?
No.
What if the hill just happens to correlate with that specific formula?
Find a hill that does.
There's obstruction, but obstruction
Some pretty
doesn't mean
large,
curvature.
wide hills in Ireland, right? Should be one that matches the curve calculator.
Yeah. Maybe there would be one.
They found the curve.
We'd need some evidence, though, right? Otherwise, it's just a story.
That's true. Hello, Chris. Chris.
Hey Chris, can you hear us?
Morning. Hey,
Good
Good
to have
morning,
you.
Mr. Berry.
or afternoon, maybe.
Oh, it is. That's right.
Only for Australians.
Yeah, I say there's a lot of signs of obstruction in objects in the distance, but obstruction doesn't mean curvature.
Now, let's just say you're not gonna find any hills in the water.
It's all about, if you're going to count a hill, you've got to then take into account the elevation. I mean, I'm right in the centre of England, and I'm only about 250 feet above sea level. England is pretty flat, by all accounts. Yes, you do go up, yes, you do go down again, but the overall height above sea level is, fairly consistent. Until you get to Wales. Right.
Next question,
I was
folks.
going to say, any signs of axial rotation? Again, specifically of the Earth-based variety.
No.
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 No. What about a gas pressure without a container? Any evidence of that?
Actually, there's a little bit of a claim on this one.
Oh, excellent.
Alan B thinks that because there is a picture of M. Scott Veitch wearing his daddy's spacesuit, he thinks that spacemen can go to space in the vacuum of a space that can exist next to a pressurized system without a membrane. So
Amazing, really. They don't normally let you take the costumes home after the play.
apparently there's a picture doing the rounds of M. Scott Veitch. They've put his eyeballs back into his head now after the near fatal accident that the NASA employee never had, and he seems to be now. This picture seems to be doing the rounds, and this is credible enough evidence for the Ball Earth believers to believe and accept that Daddy did actually go to space, and that Daddy did actually go in a vacuum chamber with his suit before they do the spacewalk to make sure that there's not any rips or tears in it.
I see.
And they all think that this is true, and it's ridiculous.
Well, I have also got similar sort of evidence. So I can prove that Santa Claus is real. My dad played him. I've got photographs now. I didn't know these existed till very recently, but they have been shown to me, and I can provide these photographs to anybody who wants me to validate the claim that my father is in fact Santa Claus.
You should change your last name then, Nathan.
Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, apparently that is the claim that because there's a picture of M. Scott Veitch in Daddy's suit, all of a sudden space is real again. So pressurized systems can exist next to non-pressurized systems without any membrane, and obviously a gas pressure can exist without a container. So shout out to Alan B for believing everything he gets shown as truth.
Shout out to Distracted.
Let's get some
Well
Godzilla
done.
pictures ready.
Alan's not stupid.
Alan. Well, he might not be stupid, but he's definitely gullible if he believes that that's credible evidence to support the assertion that spaceman suits work in a vacuum.
It's confirmation bias,
Alan
isn't it? So
Alan
it
is
supports
playing
his...
with you.
It's confirmation bias. So it supports his version of the world. So
I have proof Alan B is not smart. He's in chat asking us if he is on the show.
Yes, you are,
Sorry.
Alan. Good to have you.
No, he's not. He's in chat.
Any
You should
evidence
need to
of
ask-
this?
Hello, boys.
Any evidence of the distance to the sun? Moving on.
Any evidence for what?
Distance to the sun.
No.
Can I ask a question about that one?
Go ahead.
Sure.
Arwen and Anthony like to say there is no distance. I just wanted to clarify, do they mean that there's no distance to the sun like there's no distance to a rainbow? Or that we just simply don't know the distance to the sun?
Both.
No, there is no distance to the sun.
We can't prove that the sun's a tangible object to be able to measure, even if we knew what. We don't know what it is. We're told it's a hydrogen a fusion hydrogen ball of magicness, right? But if you look at the way hydrogen behaves, it explodes violently. It doesn't do this fusion reaction. So you have to go into the realms of like pseudoscience to explain this nonsense. But nonetheless, it doesn't change the fact that we can't prove that it's a tangible object.
Come on, Riley. You know that hydrogen, like in such masses with vacuum surrounding it, is probably not going to have the same reaction. Blah 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 blah.
Would you say this
can't happen in a vacuum anyway? That's what.
No shit.
Would you say the same thing about the moon?
Yeah.
When you say the same thing, specifically, what do you mean?
That it might not be a tangible object and it has no distance.
Absolutely.
Well, so the way I always explain the fact that the moon seems to, appears to flip depending on where you are on the planet.
It doesn't.
That's flat Earth proof, right?
It doesn't, and I have direct proof of this, and I posted it in the Master B chat. Somebody threw it again.
So,
friends.
Are you now denying that the moon Catherine wheels across the sky? Please tell me you're not denying that.
No, I'm just denying that the pattern matches up, because there's other things going on. The rotation, speed, and its angle do not match up. Somebody filmed the moon for 13 days over a time interval from two sides of the Earth. And yeah, it animates full out. And you can just see that the rotation just does not match at all. Not even the rotation, speed, and direction. Doesn't make any sense. It's obviously not a singular object. Obviously.
Chris, what's your observations and what you can
like?
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
All right.
Chris,
Nathan?
What's your observation and conclusions?
Nathan?
Well,
if you will present my screen.
Sure.
Well,
Flipping moon.
Should we hear what what the other guy says first?
No? Something gone wrong? Hello?
So it's obviously not the same rotation speed.
I see my puppy dog.
I see Aristarchus. But yeah, it's very obvious.
I'm going to fair warn you, there's a slight glitch with the stream because I've put one of the settings wrong. So I'm going to change that setting. If everything goes wrong, my bad. Right. I'll just have to start.
I'll post the link in.
Well, no, don't do anything. Just.
No, I'll post the link in the Hangout if you want it.
So this.
Presenting.
What is it we're looking at here? Can you explain what we're looking at?
The moon.
Yeah.
I understand, but what's supposed to be happening compared to what is happening?
The moon filmed from the equator and from another location at the exact same time, interval-wise. So they basically took at the exact synchronized time, same pictures, and then matched them up, their observations, over a period of 7 days, I think.
That looks fake.
Oh, well, it's a photograph of the moon. So.
Wait, so now it's moving backwards?
Yeah, it is. That's what the moon does.
There's two. I see two moons.
Yeah. Well, they are supposedly the same moon.
I mean, we've only got one.
Go on, Nathan. Stop being.
We got no moon. There is no moon. It's all a holographic phenomena, just like the sun.
Who's the source of this video? Sun and Moon Family United?
Yeah, that is Karen from Sun and Moon.
But did she take the Karen B? Is that Karen B? Did she take this?
Well, no, she didn't.
No,
No,
it's not Karen B.
It's not going to be Karen B being in two places at the same time. So no.
Did she take one set of pictures?
Right, it's not Karen B, it's Karen P. Pettit.
Yes, sorry, Karen P. I mean, right. Maybe some source as to who.
I think isn't it from Skyfly Bride?
Certainly says Skyfly
I don't know.
Bride.
I just bumped into it. You'd have to ask her.
I think it says it certainly references Skyfly Bride on it. So either way,
right.
Credit to wherever it's due.
It's interesting, but what would the interpretation be?
Well, there's no consistency in the rotation of the moon from different observations at the same time on the Earth. So in one location, the moon is rotating faster than in the other location.
You make it
and
isn't
the other picture inverted? Not even inverted, but it's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Can you make your screen full size, Arwin, please?
Okay. I'll max.
That's actually incredible, but I don't know what it means. I know what it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean that the moon's going around us on the heliocentric model, because it should be uniform, right? If these are all at the same time, the moon should be moving in one at the same time as the other.
Exactly, and the shadow is the same. But the actual position with the rotation and everything, it's not. It's all over the place.
That's actually incredible if we can validate that it's a true claim in the first place, because if the claim is true, what they're showing, and it's accurate and it can be repeated.
See, now they're rotating in opposite directions.
Yeah, I don't know how that can possibly work on a sphere.
Well, it's just celestial looming, bending of warping. It's celestial warping. That's it. It's just bending.
It's like it's rocking. It's like it gets to a tipping point and then rocks round, and then gets to another tipping point and rocks round again.
It's like
like a rocking chair. Yeah.
It's like a yo-yo.
Hold on, we don't know anything about this footage.
No, I agree.
That's why I say we don't even know if it's legit and who the sources are, who took it, how. We don't know any details.
Well, the time is noted.
Every party needs a pooper.
No, actually, I think it's a really valid point. But I just think that
the time is noted with both footage in the frame.
I think more people would have to do the observation and synchronize it the way this is, because just 2 might not be enough. If you did 4 and it was like doing the same thing, is this like one picture every day for 30 days?
You can see the time interval right there. It is roughly every 10 minutes a shot for a period of 7 days.
Well, to be fair, Aaron, it's blurred and I can't read any of it, but
I can. It's below the moon. You can see the lines. It is kind of blurry, but it has a date and a time, and it seems to switch. Every frame is like 5 minutes or something, so I would say 10 minutes average a second, roughly.
So it's an animation of a time lapse. Every 10 minutes, the photos, and they put it together in 7 days. Time lapse, 10 minutes.
Well, the time is synchronized. It's exactly the same time. The same date, the same time. They matched it.
It's incredible, but I think that this point needs more work on it, because you would need to do it again and see that it does the same thing. And I would think you would need at least a 3rd observer, not just 2.
Oh, go and do it then.
Yeah, I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying let's be cautious, because whatever's going on here, it's cool, it's interesting, but we need to know more, right? This isn't conclusive.
I knew the moon has been rotating irregularly and is not even facing the sun properly as it should according to the heliocentric model. And I know it's going up and forth. I've already seen that even in individual moon footage. This footage here is just a comparison to show you that's not actually rotating at the same speed at the same time. That's
what are these little lights? Are those supposed to be stars?
I don't know what they are. I have no idea. I don't know what that is. Maybe it kind of looks like it's a crosshair or something. Maybe that's been artificially added on to point out where the moon circle's supposed to be. I don't know. You have to ask the source. The guy who made it.
Very interesting.
Indeed.
So what was going back to the original point? Who was it that made the original point? I'm sorry, was it Chris?
Yeah. Chris.
Yeah.
What was your original question?
Well,
13 days.
this sort of takes the wind out of my sails, but basically, basically, I've seen videos from flat earthers even talking about how let's say you're at the North Pole and you're looking up at the moon, you'll see one angle of it or whatever, and all the spots and craters will be at a particular place. And if you travel, let's say, to Australia and look at the moon, it would be sort of that flipped, same thing, but kind of flipped version of it. So that tells me that if that's true, that you traveled from the North Pole to Australia and it flipped, that you literally went under the moon, and to be able to go under something, it has to have either be physical or have a specific location to do that.
Oh, by the way, I think the video footage is shot by Fly Bry and Samfu, because they are in the title mentioned specifically. So they're probably the ones that took the footage.
That's what I said.
Right.
Okie dokie. Can we move on in housekeeping?
Yeah.
Yes.
Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
We've been waiting for Paul Voigt for that one for months. It must be getting on a year now. Any evidence for it, Paul? Been waiting for it. Come on, stop teasing us.
He was in chat for a short moment, then he left again as soon as that question was asked.
The most accurate evidence that we've got is the Kola Super Deep borehole at 8 miles deep. That's it. Anything beyond that is speculation, hyperbole, or conjecture. Nothing is credible. Guess.
And I was thinking about this super deep borehole. Who knows if actually the data presented to us that's the deepest they have dug. Maybe it's deeper, maybe it's less, maybe it's not that deep. Maybe they found something, some kind of materials that we're not supposed to know. Maybe who knows if the story about the deep hole is true or not. That's what we know, and it's kind of believable. But at least it's not as to the center of the earth, freaking thousands of miles deep. No.
Hey, Earth Flattener. Anthony, can you turn your
Hello.
speakers down? You're causing a bit of feedback.
Is that any better?
Then I just someone else talks. Hi, Earth Flattener.
Hello, how are you?
Very well. Good to have you.
Happy to be here.
So, housekeeping, are we carrying on or are we done?
Yeah. No, we still haven't done. Any evidence of Earth radius? The R value, gentlemen?
No.
No? Anybody? Anybody at
No.
all? No? Any scientific evidence of gravity?
There's not even credible evidence of gravity that's non-scientific. Anybody that thinks there is are utter morons.
That's a double
Owen,
scientific evidence, or it's not.
Let him go
Credibility
and
has very little to do with it.
There is no evidence, scientific or otherwise. Of some
No,
kind of
there is otherwise a lot of
There
it.
isn't. There's
Yeah,
none.
there is otherwise a lot of evidence.
No evidence.
My
Just
answer,
not
there's a lot
scientific
of-
proof.
Just
My
believe.
answer. There's a
Hey,
lot
Pete.
of misunderstanding. There's a lot of theories. There's a lot of explanations, but nothing concrete scientific proof. No.
Yeah,
I've just
yeah,
put
that's
myself
why
out-
there is no scientific proof, but there is a lot of evidence.
No, there's not. There's no evidence,
Yeah, there
Owen.
is
Just
evidence. And
hyperbole.
I've shoved it all down your throat and
No,
everything.
you haven't. You haven't shown anything.
That's still evidence. May not be
It's all
scientific
lovely
proof,
stuff.
but it's a lot of evidence.
Lovely.
You okay there, Mark?
Like,
You guys believe in mass?
Should have put yourself on mute, Mark. Say again, Pete.
Do you guys believe in mass?
Do we believe in
What, a
mass?
Mass?
Yeah, a Catholic mass. You go once a day.
What's mass, P? What are you on about?
Mass, I think, is like an object's ability to resist a force acting upon it.
Actually, you Burke.
no,
Really?
that's wrong. It's its susceptibility.
Hey, Alan.
No, an
To
object's
force.
ability to resist a force is known as a nerve.
Hello, Alan.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, boys.
It says on Google that mass is a property of a physical body and a measure of its resistance to acceleration when a net force is applied.
Are you sure you're reading the right page?
I just Googled it. That's from Wikipedia.
So so the object's ability to resist a force is called mass.
Yeah.
Can I see the citation for that, please?
Sure.
I suspect you're actually looking at inertia.
Tony, what did you think to my fact of the day?
He can't read, right?
Well, just bring up the definition of inertia, if you would, Anthony.
Let's just see what he's reading first.
I've got it up for the audience now.
Mass is both
the property of physical body and its measure of resistance against resistance to acceleration.
Yeah, that is what it says. So how does that... Hang on, so what's going on? Look at the definition for inertia and tell me what the difference is. Shut up, dog.
Inertia is for an object in motion.
Would you want somebody bring up the definition of inertia?
I'm just going to do it now, hang on.
Hit the super chat, give Nathan money.
It's pretty similar.
Have a little goosey.
Inertia definition in physics.
Shout out to Tom while we're waiting.
Inertia, the resistance an object has to a change in its state of motion. And then reading what PMARS has just presented.
State of motion, which means it applies to when an object is actually in motion.
They're the same. So
No,
inertia and mass have the same definition.
But yeah, I'll present this. Arwin, let's use your comprehension skills, Arwin. You tell me how this is different. Are we on, Nath?
Yeah.
So we've got definition of mass that PMARS has just brought up, and it says a measure of its resistance to acceleration, and this is mass on Wikipedia. And then if you type in definition of inertia, inertia definition in physics, Newton's first law, inertia, the resistance an object
Hold on,
has.
Anthony. Can't you just let whoever's rumpusing, just let him talk? I don't know
It
who
was Arwin. So, Arwin, using your skills of
I
comprehension...
didn't hear the second definition.
Don't poo-poo.
Hold on, I just want to hear the definitions read out without somebody rumpusing them.
Inertia, the resistance an object has to a change in its state of motion. And on this one, it says a measure of its resistance to acceleration.
Oh.
Same bloody thing.
Having trouble with your comprehension skills, Riley?
Yeah, I am. You tell me how these are different, Arwin.
Oh, well, guess what? One actually describes specifically objects being in motion. The other one just says it's resistant to potential motion, not actually motion in motion. No description of it being in motion. It's just acceleration in general.
Not true. They both say the same thing.
No, they don't. The one describes an object in motion. The other one has no reference to actual motion. It just describes its inner resistance to potential motion.
That's not what it says.
One says a measure of its resistance to acceleration, and the other one says the resistance of an object to the resistance an object has to a change in its state of motion. So the only difference between the two phrases is one says a change in its state of motion to the other one which says to acceleration.
Yeah.
Are they not the same thing?
Acceleration does not automatically imply it is accelerating.
Yeah,
it is acceleration in general. There's no description.
That's what the
of
word
its
is. That's the word, acceleration. What do you mean it doesn't imply acceleration?
It's not motion.
That's nonsense, Arwin. The word
No,
acceleration.
it's not. Acceleration
Stop.
in general
Arwin.
is not a state of motion. It's not describing itself in a state of motion,
Yeah,
as
it is.
the other definition
That's
is.
what it means. That's what acceleration means.
Not describing it is in a state of acceleration.
Let's see who agrees here. Who agrees with Arwin?
It's a rate of change of motion.
Right.
It's not
So it's motion.
described in the definition that it is in motion, as the other definition does.
Right, so Arwin, what's the difference between the word acceleration and the word velocity? Because the only difference, according to
Velocity is a
Wikipedia,
speed constant. Acceleration is basically acceleration. It is how much the speed increases over an interval. That's the difference.
a measure of its resistance to acceleration. So that's well, that would be from any form of acceleration, and it was to any change in its velocity. They appear to be the same, Arwin.
No, they're not.
Does anybody? Right, let's have a consensus. Let's have a vote.
Go ahead. It's hilarious.
Right, the audience can decide: are these two sentences the same, or are they different? Is there a contrasting difference between the two? So we've got the definition of inertia that states the resistance of any physical object to any change in its velocity, right, up or down, any change in its velocity. And now mass appears to be described as a measure of its resistance to acceleration. They, in my opinion, are the same. You agree with me and think that they're both the same thing, press 1. Any other comments, any other command, Zs or whatever, that can be no, you disagree with me and think that there's a difference, but they appear to be the same.
Inertia is a property of matter, where mass is just the amount of matter present in an object. That's the difference.
No, it's its resistance
inertia's
to
not a
acceleration.
property of matter.
That's not
Yeah,
what it
it
says,
is.
Pete. Shout out to Michael Buck for the super chat. Much obliged. Arwin is right, unless you refer to non-motion as a state of motion. You can accelerate a non-moving object from 0 to 10 miles per hour. If you say so.
P-Miles, have you changed this definition on Wikipedia?
No.
Why would you, why would you
does it
suggest
seem
that?
to be so obfuscatingly
My God, you're
horrible?
paranoid.
It was only changed on the 12th of October. I reckon this is P-Miles that did this.
Oh, come
Nathan,
on.
No.
Nathan,
Yes, Alan.
Nathan, I've got an idea for a new feature every month. Fact of the month.
Is that a fact?
All right.
Inertia isn't mass. Is that what we're going to call?
No, my first fact. This one's for you, Tony.
Go on.
All space suits leak.
All spacesuits leak, did he?
Yep.
So, do you know what happens when you put something next to a vacuum when it's got pressure with it and you put a hole in it?
That's just a fact, Tony. All space
Have you
suits.
got any evidence to support your assertion?
Yes, the NASA manual.
The
Can we
NASA
see it?
manual.
NASA manual, that's not evidence of a leaking spacesuit.
Well, it leaks 180 cubic centimeters per minute.
So what?
So how are they putting it back in?
Does that prove space is real?
No, I'm just proving that all space suits leak.
Who cares?
Come on, Alan, let's see it. Where does
Let's
it
worry
say
about
this
that.
in
Hold
the
on.
space?
Who gives a crap? Let's worry about the minor detail of whether or not space is actually real, Alan. Before we worry about whether or not space suits work in space, let's worry about space. So, do you have evidence of a gas pressure being maintained without a container? Do you have evidence of that?
Concludes my fact of the month.
What fact? The fact that a propaganda machine says their suits do something. Wow. What about space being real? Is that your fact of the month? Actually, space is real because I can prove that you can maintain gas pressure without a container. Vacuum of space, no problem. Oh yeah, forget about the petty detail that we have gas pressure that we all breathe. What about proving that? Oh, clearly not that important to prove that space exists. Let's worry about spacesuits. What a crock of crap. Space isn't real. Anybody in the audience who thinks outer space is real, you're deluded. We live in a pressurised environment. We're all breathing it. Yet it's claimed that this pressurised environment exists in a vacuum, defying the laws of entropy. So, unless someone can actually demonstrate to me gas pressure without a container, I don't give a crap what NASA claim.
There's air pressure in space, though.
Oh, really? Do you want to demonstrate
Yeah.
gas pressure being maintained without a container, Pete?
No,
Pete,
I
it's
keep
actually
calling
Pete.
you Pete when your name's
Sorry, my
Patrick.
bad. It's because he comes in on a Pete account occasionally.
My account, because yeah, my main account, someone is banned or something.
So, can you demonstrate gas pressure without a container, Pete? Because I'm absolutely certain we have gas pressure. I'm breathing it.
There's
The space
there's a
bit.
pressure gradient in a container.
So, the space bit, Pete, the space bit, that's the bit I'm unsure of. So, what I'd need to believe that, given that 99.9% of the universe you believe you reside in is space, empty vacuum, I'd need to know implicitly that the gas pressure I'm definitely experiencing can coexist next to a vacuum. So unless you can demonstrate that being gas pressure being maintained without a container, then I'm not really that interested in any claims about space, because space isn't real.
Yeah, but you got the just so story wrong, because they don't say that space is empty. They just there's air pressure and there's matter in space.
Oh, really?
It's not. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. 10 to the minus 11 torr. That's a vacuum measurement. 10 to the minus 11. That's what space is, P. So much of a vacuum, in fact, that they can't even get close to achieving it in one of our vacuum chambers here on Earth. But there we go. You can kid yourself that actually that's gas pressure, even though it's 10 to the minus 11 torr.
Alan.
Tony?
Do you think the picture of Scott in Daddy's spacesuit adds credibility to anything to do with the argument that space can exist?
Well, strangely enough, Tony, it's not just one picture. I've seen...
Well, even 50 pictures. Do you think that Scott existing in Daddy's spacesuit adds anything to the argument that space can exist?
Why would they build a suit?
Because they've got a shed load of money and they need to substantiate their claims that they are going to space.
Yes, but if the operation is all about money, why would you waste it on a £1 million suit?
Who cares? Let's prove space is real. Notice the long protracted silence when I devastated the idea that we can have space itself. Now we're back onto completely ignoring that devastating fact.
Or maybe we're just ignoring you. Carry on, Tony.
What? Well, you can ignore me all you like. Space isn't real.
I think that was a yes or no question. If Alan thinks that Scott being in a spacesuit adds credibility to space being real.
Well, the 12 pictures that I've seen look very credible.
Right, but does it add anything to the idea that space can be real?
Yes.
Why?
How?
Why would they waste £1 million on a suit?
Who cares? Sorry, we don't know the motivation of men with money. I don't know what motivates you to buy the type of biscuits you buy. What you spend your money on is your business. I don't care why they spend their money. Prove space is real.
Alan, I'll give you a clue. The answer to my question is no.
They're weird, PMARS.
Weird? No. We know space isn't real, and we don't accept that spacesuits leaking somehow proves that you can have the vacuum of space coexisting with the gas pressure we all know and love, strangely enough.
Nathan, it was just a nice feature, a new thing.
A feature about space that isn't real. So what, you're just coming along with one of your religious stories? Like you used to get at Sunday school? So you've just come to give us one of your religious stories to convert the audience into believing in your fantasy about space? Just because you've got a space religion doesn't mean we need a feature on the show about your crap belief in your space religion. If you want to fascinate my audience, prove space! Don't tell us about the religious stories your priests give you about the suits they use in a fantasy zone you can't prove and have never been.
I'll tell you what, Nathan, I've got to give you 10 out of 10 for the script reading. It's fantastic.
What script? Space is fake. That's not a script. The only people with scripts are NASA, when they kid children into believing that there's a place they can go called space.
John Stunger's certainly done a great job.
Well, he's not even here.
I know, you've got the script, yeah?
What script?
Nathan, just present my screen for me.
Oh, you got that picture?
This is a picture of Nathan's dad in a Santa suit. Proves that he is Father Christmas.
Yay.
And?
Well, I've got dozens of them. They look very legitimate. This is your argument being put back to you in the same farcical, ridiculous way, Alan. So I've got lots of credible pictures of this, similar. Some of them even better. And they're very credible. Almost as credible as the ones you take as proof of space. So does this prove Lapland? This is proof of Lapland, right, Alan? Adds credibility to Lapland, doesn't it?
I think it's a false equivalency because we can see space. It's a little bit. It's not like a fair comparison.
I can see. I saw presents.
Pete. On Amazon, it's equally real.
What have you ever got from NASA? I physically got presents given to me, Pete. I think that's just a little bit more legitimate than what you see on TV and are told by your priests. I actually was given something, mate. Physical, that I could touch.
Fair shout, Pete. Alan?
No, it's not. False equivalency is...
How is it a false equivalency? Explain.
Oh, sorry, so you were given things by NASA, physical things, to prove that they existed. Sorry, you were given things by NASA, were you?
Well, I wouldn't mind that suit that Scott's got.
So you haven't got it then? It didn't give it you?
No, it's £1 million.
All right, Santa bought me presents, physical stuff to confirm his existence as real.
Now, I
Well-
think just like you'll find your parents lied to you.
Oh, really? But NASA don't lie. NASA are all truthful. We can trust NASA. Our parents lie. The people who love us most lie to us. But yet a big corporation doesn't. Because they love us even more. Don't they, Alan? NASA
Nathan,
really loves us.
Irony? Don't you find the irony that he's claiming that our Santa is a false equivalency, but then states that it's probably more likely that your parents lied to you? The irony is uncanny.
I know. Amazing, isn't it? Delicious, even.
Anyway, do you want to...
Yeah, anyway, I've got a religious belief and I trust Big Daddy Government. Don't trust your parents, people of the audience, but do trust Big Brother, because they can definitely be trusted.
Says a man who lives in an inner city and works.
What's that got to do with anything?
He lives in the system.
So what?
Big rebel.
So, did we get through housekeeping?
Yep, so
Or
no,
did we
we've
get
done
stuck
actually
under
with
pressure?
that was our last question.
I did want to ask one more question. So, if you guys, do you guys believe there's a difference between mass and weight?
Yeah, little g.
So, do you believe in weight or not?
No, the only difference between the two phrases is mathematical. In maths, little g exists. In the real world, there is no little g.
You best not join Slimming World then, Tony. You'd fail every week.
Straight into the ad homs. So no proof of space results in an ad hominem against one of the other panel members. Amazing. You think you just want to prove your religion. That's what the show's about. Not about Anthony's weight.
It was just a joke, Nathan. Lighten up.
This is a debate about the nature of our reality. You come and tell us that we can trust Big Daddy Government. Because one of Big Daddy Government's representatives told you. Right? One of Big Daddy Government's representatives that also makes TV propaganda. Definitely a trustworthy character.
Icy Man One says...
More trustworthy than Mr. Quantum Eraser.
You don't have to trust anything anybody on the panel says. In fact, don't trust us. Go and check it out for yourself. Like space. And when you realise you can't check it out for yourself, and you can only trust Big Daddy Government, you've then got a choice. Do I trust Big Daddy Government, or don't I? And that's your choice, Alan. I'm not telling you to trust them. I just think it's pathetic that you do.
So you don't like the feature?
Not really. It didn't prove space.
See, I see myself as a great content provider. And you just seem to shoot every idea down.
How much content have you got?
Well, I was going to write one feature a month.
Alan's a content king.
So,
shout
I
out
didn't
to
ask
Channel
what you were going to
Q.
do. I asked how much content you've got.
What do you mean make content?
No. How much content have you got? I see myself as a great content provider. So that
No, you're not.
presumably
You're a
means you've got
mediator.
content.
You don't provide anything.
Does it mean you fantasize about being a content provider in the future, or you have content, as it would suggest?
I am a content provider. I'm here now, providing content.
No, what content do you have?
Just my chat.
Sorry.
He does provide good content, Nathan.
Thank you, Tony.
He does.
Where is it? That's what I'm... Where's this content?
Good. It's about as much in quantity as what Arwin provides, but it's just much better quality.
You mean here? Oh, I misunderstood. You mean you provide content here?
Yeah. He's the butt of most jokes. He's fine.
Ad hominem attack.
Excuse me, Roddy, but I've been providing
Now we're
content
even.
way before the debates ever arrived. So,
Shout out to Channel.
But the thing is, Arwin, they seem to be abusing us and ad hominem attack. That's what Nathan said we're here for.
Just let me give a shout out to Channel Q. She states that she unsubbed, yet she's back in chat. So shout out to Channel Q, everyone.
Oh, you sent me that. Yeah, hey Channel Q. Anthony sent me a little screenshot saying that you'd unsubbed and pointed out that it wouldn't be very long before you were back. That's brilliant. Shout out for the super chat, Nate B69. What does it say? I can't read that.
You're a Cunard, Nathan, it says.
I don't know what that means.
Cunard, it's a ship brand in Liverpool.
Okay.
Welcome to the show.
Jolly good. Thank you for the super chat.
I read earlier in the show, this is funny because somebody say, we've been to space. I love it when they add themselves in the equation because if I say we, none of us are the 10 people, the 11 people here in the show. We've never been to space. They say we, like, yeah, you,
I think the best saying ever is the whole body of science.
I'd love to go to space. Not somebody who's got a suit.
Channel Q says that she's not subbed yet. She knows what time the show starts. So shout out to Truth.
Yeah, I don't mind. Subscribers aren't that important when you consider that all you really need is people to watch. Obviously, I'm very grateful to all who subscribe, but I'm more grateful to people like Channel Q who watch the show. Much more important that you actually engage.
She hates us that much. She can't stay away.
When you say space, you're talking about outer space, right? Because I would think we're all in space right now, right?
No, we're in a pressurized system, breathing gas pressure. B.
We're on Earth.
But if you think about Channel Q for a sec, Nath, depending on what part of America she's in, she might have actually got out of bed early to listen to the show. She's deprived herself of sleep just to listen.
I can blame her. This is a fantastic show. Got excellent content providers like Alan.
Thank you.
Mark Doxey.
Why are you slagging us off?
Because you're all full of stories.
I was giving you a compliment. What do you want? I was swayed. What do you want?
Unbelievable.
But my God, you've got such a complex. I was literally giving you a compliment.
Well, I never know whether you're lying or not.
So distrust me, distrust your parents, but trust Big Brother. Right, Alan?
Yeah.
Didn't hear an answer.
What should we talk about now?
How much you trust Big Brother. That's what I want to talk about. Why would you trust Big Brother so much? Why does Big Daddy government have to be trusted, Alan?
Well, I've paid my taxes and now they're looking after me.
Really? Are they some of them? Would you describe some of them as parents? Do you think some of the people in Big Daddy government are parents?
They use your tax money to do like behavioral analysis on you and psychoanalysis to study us and control. That's how they control us better.
Just want to just test Alan's logic, P. I agree with every word, but
they've probably
some of the
concluded
people
that I'm
in
a
the
bit weird
government
and like custard creams.
do some of them have children? Would you describe some of the people? Shout out again for the super chat. Your show is garbage, Nathan Oakley. Thank you very much for the super chat. So, would you describe some of the people in government as parents, do you think? Or are none of them parents?
Theresa May isn't.
Are some of them, though?
Some maybe.
Some of them maybe? Or, in all likelihood, quite a lot of them?
I'd have to see the data.
So, you're going to deny that people in government have children and are parents, unless you see data? Really? It's amazing how distrusting you are of almost everything, Alan. Incredible.
Including you.
You don't trust, you won't even trust that people in government have children. That's incredible. Why the difficult concession, Alan?
Why are you focusing on me?
Because I would like to make this link between your assertion that we shouldn't trust our parents. Coincidentally, quite a lot of the people in government are parents. But yet, when they become government, suddenly...
I was talking about your parents.
Oh,
though.
I'm not allowed to make this point, am I, Alan? That parents, quite a
Sorry.
lot of the government being parents, who you say we shouldn't trust because they lie about Santa and various other things. I mean, I could extrapolate this out to just people. People lie, Alan. But suddenly, for some reason, you think that people in government don't lie. I would like to know why this unbelievable level of stupidity.
You lie, Nathan.
Yes, everybody lies. Do you not lie, Alan? Are you completely squeaky clean, never lied in your entire life?
Crystal clear.
Right. So, some of the people in government are parents, and as Alan has asserted, parents lie.
Are they all dressed as Santa?
Maybe. But the fact remains that you have told the audience that your parents lie to you. And some of the people who are in charge are parents. So by that standard, at least some of them would have to see the numbers on who, but some of them are potentially liars. Right, Alan? Another shout out to Mark Taylor for the super chat. Channel Q is a vile creature. Ban her and her rancid... No, I'm not reading that. So, oh dear. Mark Taylor is just a monster.
Is that the real Mark Taylor, or is that Ute?
Says it right there. You seem very distrusting, Alan. Amazing. We're still not at the point where we get an explanation for why you distrust almost everything except Big Daddy government. Don't trust that Mark Taylor's Mark Taylor, even though it says his name on it. Don't trust that anything I say is true. Don't trust your parents. Who do you trust? My bad. Big Daddy government. Why is that, Alan?
Spacesuits leak.
Oh! So the spacesuits, even though there's no proof of space, they can just be taken as proof of the thing that has no proof of space. That's amazing logic, Alan.
In that sense, a Santa suit also proves there is a Santa Claus.
Oh yeah, we're going through this circle where we find out our parents aren't trustworthy, but Big Daddy, they're definitely trustworthy. It still makes no sense. There's no logic here, Alan. I don't understand.
Okay, then let's reverse out of this and let's ask another question.
No, absolutely not. I'd like to know why you're telling the audience that they shouldn't trust not even the super chat. There's no motivation for that person to be lying, is there? It's just a person giving me money. Thank you very much, Mark Taylor. But you question even that. But yet when it comes to spacesuits, absolutely must be true. No questioning of that, but questioning of almost everything else in your day-to-day life.
You've got a point, Alan.
You what? What kind of point? You see...
Well, it's called conformity bias.
You see, the problem is, and the differences between myself and Nathan, is I prefer evidence. And having looked at the super chat that calls Channel Q's Fanny rancid, I clicked on the link to go to the channel. That's not Mark Taylor's channel at all.
Hang on a minute. Who cares? Isn't it critical?
Hold on, Anthony. Hold on. Who cares about the super chat? Of the two issues, right? Of the two issues, hold on. Of the two issues, is the nature of our reality less or more important than Mark Taylor's super chat? Which seems more important to you, Alan? Which requires questioning and looking for evidence? Not space, that's unquestionable. But Mark Taylor, now that needs investigation immediately. Why?
Come on,
why of the two things, rather than answer the direct question, which is the very subject of this debate, did you choose to investigate a person in the chat, some minor, not very important issue, compared to the nature of your existence, which you take at face value from Big Brother? I still don't get it, Alan.
Yeah, I'm pretty weird.
Yeah, you are pretty weird.
Answer the point. Why is it that you would challenge the Mark Taylor thing, but you won't challenge whether or not the spacesuits are real?
Because I don't think you guys are actually interested in the truth.
No, why are you not challenging the space, but you are challenging Mark Taylor?
Because you're not interested in the truth at any point.
You know what, Alan? This episode of the show needs a title, and if you keep it up, your name might be on it.
Channel Q's Rancid Fanny.
Can we stop talking about Channel Q's Rancid Fanny, please?
I can smell it from here.
Stop it. No more. No more. Come on.
Unbelievable.
Alan. Was Karen P's Fanny rancid?
No! Oh, God. Right. Is this show going to end early? I've got a technical glitch. I've got every excuse to end it early.
Alan, it's a valid point. Why don't you challenge
this is not valid.
The NASA stuff?
No,
but you do
I'm going to talk over you just so it doesn't get through to the audience.
Come
on, please. Let's get it back on track. No more talk about Channel Q's Rancid Fanny.
Alan, why do you challenge Mark Taylor's £5 but you don't challenge NASA?
I'm challenging you.
Right, but
it's probably because he can actually check it. You don't have that luxury with NASA-related stuff.
He claims
that's the point. Right? That's the point, Arwin. We can't check a bloody word NASA say. We can only take it on face value. But yet that's the thing he trusts. The thing he can't verify. Amazing.
If there's nothing you can do about it, then it's just a choice. Are you going to trust them or not?
And we want to know why he chooses to trust them.
Exactly. And that's
so we want to know why. That's the question.
Well, Nathan, here's a question. That guy who came in, Bob, the pilot, do you believe he was a pilot?
Who's Bob?
You were here, weren't you?
The guy pretending to be a pilot? getting
Yeah,
all
what
the
about
details
Bob?
wrong, not actually understanding why you need the weight of a
Yes.
plane and all that
See,
maximum
the
weight
thing
load.
is, Nathan, you didn't question him at all. You didn't give him the full 40 minutes that I've
Actually, we
just
did
got.
question him. We
No,
did
he
question him.
didn't. No, he didn't.
Yeah, we did.
No, you
Because none of us
cares?
believe that he doesn't understand how gyroscopes work. If you
Who
remember,
cares?
we all critically challenged him, and none of us agreed that we thought
No,
that
you
he was
didn't. You
seeing.
didn't give him
He
credit.
didn't understand
Sorry, this is a
the
sideline
maximum
tactic
load
by
of a
Alan.
plane.
Alan doesn't trust anybody. Nobody on the panel's trusted. This Bob guy's not trusted. Nobody's trusted. Except the one person you cannot get any verification out of. Why would you trust that and not trust anything, including this Bob guy, who I don't even know who you're talking about or care, but suddenly Bob, much more important than the nature of reality, much more important than the information you can't verify and can only take at face value, and you trust implicitly. So it still doesn't make any sense. You're still questioning everything but them, even though that's the question on the table.
Am I getting any of that super chat money?
You're not questioning the one thing that's being put over and over and over again on the table for you, Alan. Why would it be that you don't question NASA, but you do question random stranger on the panel to the nth degree? You question the super chat. You question everything that comes out of every person's mouth, but not Big Brother. Why is that?
That's just something that you've made up.
No.
That's true. I agree with him. Why don't you challenge anything from NASA, but you do challenge everything from anything from us?
So I came on and I told you that spacesuits leak.
Alan, let me ask you a question. If I went up in a rocket and I looked down and I could prove that it wasn't spherical, would you believe it because it came from me?
I have problems with you all the time, Tony.
Okay, let's ask a different question. So, when you saw the super chat, you took steps to verify what was being said in the super chat and who it was being said by. What steps did you take to verify what you were told about the spacesuits?
What, leaking?
Yeah, what did you do to verify that? That's my specific question.
I downloaded the manual for them.
Well, to be honest, it's not.
No. That's the information that you got. What did you do to verify that information?
I asked Scott.
Sorry, that's someone else. What did you... Do you not understand the word you? What did you do to verify it?
Listen, you
yeah, Scott, that was his answer.
I asked Scott. Scott's got a suit. Does it leak? Yes, it does.
Hooray.
There you go.
So he just took his word for it then. So let me get it straight. Let me get it straight. You just took his word for it. You didn't check if that was the case or not. You just took his word for it.
Yeah.
Scott's a nice
You're
guy.
trusting a guy
Sorry, Alan,
who's
shut up,
taking
Owen.
his father's story on faith.
Owen. So you just took his word for it, Alan.
Yes, he's a great guy.
So unlike here, where you question every word from everybody, you just took his word for it. Why? Why didn't you question his word like you question ours?
Through my relationship with Scott.
Why didn't you question it when you question everything else, even people donating in the super chat? Get immediately questioned.
You gonna let me finish? Through my relationship with Scott over the...
I'm not
last
proving
year and a half.
anything. I'm asking why you didn't question it. When Anthony tells me something, even though I know him and have met him and he's a good friend, I still question what he says. So your relationship with Scott Veach is irrelevant. I'm asking whether or not you question the information, like you question everything else.
Yes, of course I questioned it, and I believe what Scott had to say.
What
about
did you
it.
ask?
I was amazed that they leaked.
So what did you ask?
And then he sent me the manual. And then
What did you ask? What further supplementary questions did you ask?
And the definition of a question, Alan.
Hey, Arwin, I thought you were on my side. Me and you get picked on in here.
So basically you took it at face value. He told you it did something, you trusted what he said.
I downloaded the manual.
What, from the same person? It's the same costume department. So you downloaded the manual from the costume department that supplied the costume.
I posted a link in the sidey chat.
So what did you do to verify any of this?
I read it.
Wow.
Alan,
That's brilliant. You read it, and that is verification.
do you think that the NASA manual that tells you about how great the spacesuit adds anything to the possibility that we may not be able to go to space because it may not even exist?
Why do you believe space doesn't exist? Are you mental?
So what's your answer?
What? Where does this come from?
Medium space doesn't exist, dude. You can't have a vacuum next to a gas pressure without some kind of membrane.
Really?
Yeah, you claim gravity. You can't do it without gravity, and even if you did have gravity, you still couldn't do it, I don't believe. So we need to see the validation for
Maybe
the
that was
claim.
a question. Was that a
You
question?
can't do it
Alan?
even with gravity.
Okay, then where's the validation for the lid?
What lid?
There must be a lid.
I'll field that
If we're in
one.
a vacuum, there must be a
I'll
lid.
field that, no problem. It is a necessary antecedent. You cannot have gas pressure without a container.
Where's the lid?
Sorry, let me say it one more time. You seem to be ignoring me. It is a necessary antecedent. If you disagree with this statement, then please demonstrate gas pressure without a container.
Demonstrate the lid.
Sorry, I'll say it a million more times until you understand. I can give you 1,000,001 examples of gas pressure being maintained with a container. That's not a problem. Your assertion, however... Hello, what about Bob?
Hello, Alan.
Hello, good to have you. I can show you plenty of examples of gas pressure being maintained with a container. It is a necessary antecedent. So if you can demonstrate gas pressure without a container, then I might believe you that that's possible.
Who's this? What?
Arwin, you can let there be silence while we get zero answer for the assertion that we can have gas pressure without a container, exactly as asserted by Anthony. And we were asked, where's the lid? Now, I've said it a few times. I'll say it once more. I can demonstrate 1,000,001 times gas pressure being maintained with the container. That's not a problem to demonstrate. I'd like you to demonstrate, like your religious belief, that you can have gas pressure without a container, given that it is a necessary antecedent.
You learnt a new word.
Is this going to be a demonstration of gas pressure without a container? Supporting your religious belief of space? Or not?
It's not a religious belief.
Can you demonstrate gas pressure without a container? Because without that demonstration, it is absolutely your religious belief.
What happens to the pressure when you go up a mountain?
Don't ask me anything. Demonstrate gas pressure without a container so that we can take any slightest bit of truth out of your religious assertion that that is what your world does. It doesn't. You can't have gas pressure without a container. You're asserting it and then asking us about the container. And I've told you about 5 times it's the necessary antecedent for gas pressure. So we definitely have gas pressure, my friend. If you're to assert that there isn't a container, then you need to demonstrate that religious belief you have.
Why can't we see a container?
Why can't we see the container?
I can show you 1,000,001 examples
No,
of gas
I don't want a model.
Shut up.
I don't want no cartoons. No cartoons.
I can show you plenty of examples of a gas pressure being maintained with the container. Your religious belief in Earth is that you have gas pressure without a container. So can you demonstrate that?
No, you first.
What, you want me to bring up a gas canister? Have you never seen gas pressure being maintained with a container? I can guarantee that every gas pressure has a container because it's a necessary antecedent. If you're to assert otherwise, you must demonstrate it without a gas container. Google Cala and tell me if Cala manages to ship gas without containers. I guarantee that you require a container for gas pressure. We're breathing gas pressure. It's a necessary antecedent. So, if you're to assert that your space religion can maintain gas pressure without a container, then I'm all eyes and ears. Show me that.
Show me the lid.
What? For a gas pressure being maintained? No problem. There's 1,000,001 examples.
On the scale of the Earth.
What scale of what Earth? Have you been to this so-called space? Have you travelled the entirety of the Earth? Of course not. You don't know the scale and size of Earth, moron. So don't assert that the scale you think it is in your religious belief about what Earth is and what space is has any weight in this argument, because it doesn't.
Wait, mass.
Oh, wow. What a magic ham-handed magic word for you and your G belief. Yeah, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about space and whether or not your assertion, your religious faith in gas pressure without a container, as asserted in your space religion, can actually be shown to be true.
Well, it exists everywhere without a container outside. And the
That's just your religious belief, P, because every single example that I can show of gas pressure will have a container.
What do you think causes the pressure gradient?
Who cares? I'm not asserting my religious belief about it. You are. You believe in a space religion. Gas pressure being maintained without a container. So don't tell me that it's just the case. That's just your religious belief.
Why are you using the word religious with a negative
Because you don't have any proof for it. You just believe in it, P.
But why is it a negative thing to believe?
Because that's what a religion is. Something that you believe without evidence.
How do you square that with John, then?
Well, do you want to give me some evidence of this space that we can't go to? That you believe Big Brother about? Because they show you a spacesuit leaking?
Oh, you accept it now, then?
You can look at
it with a telescope. If it leaks? Does that prove we have gas pressure without a container, Alan?
Yes.
Oh, really? So you think that showing me a spacesuit leaking will prove the vacuum of space? What an idiot.
Well, it's certainly better than showing me pictures of
Well, then go in peace. In Are You Trust, Alan? What are you doing here? Just keep your religious belief. Don't come here with your stories that your priests gave you about your religious belief. Just believe in it and sod off. Really, if that's the standard, I just want to believe, then go away. Start a religious forum about your belief in space. We are more interested in evidence. That's why I keep asking for evidence of gas pressure without a container. And we get bupkis, zip, nada, nothing, silence when I ask.
I think you're confusing the word belief with faith.
Sorry, do you have evidence in gas pressure being maintained without a container, or just the word of man that you believe, P?
Well, okay, so like belief can include things that you have evidence for.
So you have evidence of gas pressure being maintained without a container, or not?
Not really.
That'll be a no. So it's just your religious belief, P. You don't have to like it.
Yeah, but I think you mean to use the word faith when you're using the
people
word
don't
faith.
like it when I say they have a religious belief in things. They want me to change my vernacular. Tough! You're a religious zealot who believes in space, despite the fact there is no evidence, proof, and it defies logic.
You enjoying reading Manual, Tony?
What about like telescopes? Can we see space with telescopes?
Can you see space
No, you
maintaining gas pressure without a container?
Can you see emptiness?
You tell me.
That's
I mean,
beautiful.
I'm pretty sure you can observe space with a telescope.
Oh, really? So what are you going to be observing? How do you observe something
outer space.
transparent, has no content? How do you see that?
Very carefully.
Right.
And with that, I'll say first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you hated the show, then you know exactly what to do. But if you liked it, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you have not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!